thank Simone this morning for doing something for me really special. In the back, studying up, getting everything together in my head, I want to distribute our message this morning about the little creature called the ant. So while I was there looking at the phone and getting stuff together, I seemingly rewrote the message. So then after I completed that, and it actually sounded better than the original, then I said to myself, and I answered myself, what? Now, how are you going to print it off? So I asked Simone if she would print it off for me. She did bring it to me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Found in Proverbs chapter 6, verse 6 through 11. It's where God or Solomon is telling us, hey, look at the little creature. The little guy down on the ground, the little six-legged creature that God made that we step on, spit on, and wallow around. We kill him all the time. But yet we need to watch him. We need to look at him. We need to learn from him. We need to learn from him or her. Okay? So I've asked Mr. Carlton if he would read that for us. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 6 through 11. And he's going to read it out of his book.
Proverbs 6, starting with verse 6. Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise, which having no captain, overseer, or ruler, provides her supplies in the summer and gathers her food in the harvest. How long will you slumber, O sluggard? When will you rise from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall your poverty come on you like a prowler, and your need like an armed man.
Thank you, sir. Topic is, of course, ants, and the sermon title is Ants, A-N-T-Z. And that represents a movie back in 1998 at DreamWorks that was absolutely taking some of this information and they put it in an animated picture called Ants. I watched it several times and I watched it several more times after that, and it don't get no better, but it's still funny. So, but anyway, this is dealing with that. Okay, I want you to remember. Now, when you go home, you ain't got nothing better to do because it's going to be raining on you. Go to YouTube, look up Ants, A-N-T-Z, of DreamWorks, and watch the movie. It's funny. Okay? But it's all about individualism. And the little ant wants to be his own boss. He wants to do what he wants to do. He don't want to follow the people like they always. He don't want to get in line and follow and everything. He just wants to do his own thing. So this is basically talking about the same thing, because when you want to do your own thing, you get in trouble all the time. And this little ant did. His name was Flick. F-L-I-C-K. His name was Flick. He always got in trouble. But seemingly, he would find his way out of that trouble. I'm pretty sure it was the hand of God doing it. But it was funny how he got things done. But anyway, friends, if you want to understand the secrets to success, if you want to understand that, Solomon's got all the answers for you. Solomon tells us in Proverbs 6, verses 6 through 11, not to look at a CEO, a king, or a celebrity. He says, go to the ant. Go to the ant. The least of God's creatures, go to the ant. Go to the ant. Then he calls the person he's talking to a sluggard. A sluggard. Well, what is a sluggard? We're going to find that out. Maybe if you don't, I'll tell you right off. But if I don't have it in here, I'm going to be mad, but I'm going to tell you what it is. Okay, he said, oh, sluggard, consider its way, the ant, and be wise. Think about the world of ants. Well, let's do that. I've seen in movies like Ants or A Bug's Life, both in 1998. Okay, both in 1998. They are tiny, fragile little creatures, okay, and often overlooked or spit on and killed and bug sprayed, okay? But that's okay because we got to defend our home. But therefore, they're there and God put them there for a reason. For a reason, okay? They are very tiny and fragile and often overlooked. Yet, they accomplish a massive amount of work. Do you know ants aerate your dirt just like earthworm? You know what? Earthworm aerates your ant. If you plant stuff like Gerald probably plants, I think you still do, right? You plant stuff in your garden. Do you not find earthworms out there all the time?
Sometimes,
yeah. Yeah. Well, they're there to aerate your dirt. Okay? Ants do the same thing. Ants do the same thing. They're there for a reason. God put them there for a purpose. Okay? Yet they accomplish a massive amount of tasks. They don't have a boss. They don't have a boss standing over them with a whip, cracking it. Okay? They don't have that. They don't have an HR department keeping up with how many hours you work. Okay? We got that on this side of the world. Okay? Yet they gather food in the summer and prepare in the harvest. That's what that little movie Vance was talking about. They talked about the ant harvesting food at harvest time. So they use the word very, very, very often. It's time for harvest, time for harvest, time for harvest. And they start gathering up food for the harvest, putting it away and storing it for the winter time. That's what they do. That's why you always see them moving. That's why you always see them moving. In one direction. Which direction is that? They move. Forward. Always forward. As I asked you earlier before we started our service this morning, hey, has anybody ever seen an ant say, I'm going to the house? Absolutely not. That little ant, believe it or not, he'll work himself till he dies for the colony, for the purpose that he has. And that is to maintain the colony, maintain its physical shape, and also gather food. That's what his purpose is. They know that. They know that. This brings me to this little story I'm going to tell you. Many of you I've already told before, so if you've heard it, just bear with me. When I went to work at the hospital many, many years ago, when I first got there on my first day, they assigned me to the plumber. His name is Gerald Hearn. Okay? Gerald, he was slow. I mean, you know, remember that program 60 Minutes? Remember 60 Minutes? Well, it'd take you 2 hours to watch that. That's how slow Gerald was. And then, I like the old character. He was neat and nice. I mean, he was smart, got stuff done, but at his own speed. But his own speed was always straight ahead. He never seen a problem he couldn't handle. He never seen a problem in the plumbing in that hospital he couldn't reroute or fix. He'd always say, you got to go ahead, got to go ahead, got to go ahead. Well, we don't have that part. We'll just go around. We'll figure it out. We got to go ahead, got to go ahead. Okay? But one day we was out walking from the parking deck. We had come from somewhere, another building, the hospital home. And we were walking across the parking lot. Me and him was, well, we wasn't holding hands now, but we were walking close together. And as we walked, I noticed a little bit, I was walking by myself. Walking by myself. I looked back, and Gerald was back there, and he was looking at these ants walking down the curb, going up the curb and into the grass. It was just, Gerald, it was just standing there looking at him. And I walked up and I said, Gerald, sir, you okay? I mean, now, I was younger, he was older, I figured he's having a heart attack or something, right? But he was standing there, okay, he says, see them, how do you put it? See them ants? I said, yes, sir. Wonder which one did the boss. Oh no, Gerald. I kind of backed off a little bit. I'm beginning to think that they put me with a nut, okay? A brand new man with a nut, okay? So I stood there a little while longer, and I kept looking at him and talking to him. I said, "You ready to go?" He said, "One who tells them it's time to go eat." I don't know, Gerald. They're ants. I don't know who tells them to stop. I don't tell who tells them to go. I don't know when to eat or who tells them to eat. You want to go back in the building? Are you okay, sir? I remember that all the way from back then because he was looking at ants and they were walking in a line. And they would turn like a 90-degree turn and they would go up that curve and go over the curve and into the grass. That's where they were going. Finally, I got him, come on, we went back into the building. But you know why I remember that? And when I heard that, a friend of mine tell me about that story of the ants, not paying attention to them, that hit me in the face. That hit me in the face. God was trying to tell me many years ago, there's more to these ants than you know. There's more to them than you know. We're supposed to work and follow the ant example. The ant example. Okay? We're going to cover it. In fact, there's 4 points I'm going to cover this morning. Number one. Without having any chief, officer, or ruler, side of the Bible, she prepares her bread in the summer, found in Proverbs 6, verses 7 and 8. In the ants movie, the propagandist Z, a part of a massive, efficient, almost mindless machine, these ants. Okay. However, the true beauty of the colony is that every ant knows their job. You're supposed to know what your job is. As a Christian, you're supposed to know what your job is. Your job is to serve God. Your job is to do what you're told. Spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. Was it not? That's our job. Whether we do it verbally or whether we do it physically, where people can see who we are and know who we are and can recognize who we are, that is your job. If you're a teacher within the church building, teaching children or older groups or whatever, your job is important. You have purpose. There's purpose there. You have purpose. If you're a pastor or if you're a deacon or if you're a trustee, you have a job to do for God in the church. They know their jobs. They know their job. You call, hey, and there's nobody else now. Faye is a great lady at what she does. Absolutely. They couldn't find another person better she is doing what she does at all. Okay, I'm just saying that to get a pay raise. I'm saying it because I mean what I said. Everybody in here works together is important. And they know their job. They know their job, and she does it well. Just because she forgot to get this out but Annie Armstrong 2 weeks ago doesn't mean you say you worry about it. You just move on because she does everything else perfect. Okay? Everything's fine. Everything's fine. But everybody knows their job. They have to know their job. Okay? Because there's no one yelling at us, telling us what to do, when to do, and how to do it. We take on what they call internal initiative. If Faye or Gerald or Don or one of us sees something needs to be done, we're supposed to take the internal initiative by just go ahead and doing it. That's what ants do. Their purpose is to provide for the colony. Their purpose is to rebuild the colony. Their purpose is to maintain the colony. God's church is His colony, and you are His ants. I hope you're getting that already. I hope you're seeing that already. You have purpose. You have purpose in maintaining. The church is like the ants do. And they take initiative. They're not told when and where and how to do it. They just do it. A wise person is a self-starter. A self-starter. They do not wait to be told what to do and how to act. They just take it and do it. Probably you still work on cars, putting bodies through stuff. Excuse me. How many decisions you make a day without having to ask your boss? Now, don't get me wrong. If it's something major, and naturally they want you to say, hey, I need your assistance on this or whatever. But there's time when you're working putting them cars back together, you say, well, it's supposed to go here, but it ain't going to go there. Maybe I just need to muscle it up a little bit, make it work, right? That's a decision you made. I have always said this. I've always had a supervisor, but I was never supervised. And my son, Philip Michael, does not understand that. We got supervised, Daddy. We were supervised. No, I wasn't. He just signed a paycheck. Because what things I saw that needed to be done, I went ahead and done it. I took the initiative and taken care of it. I didn't order that. We need to fix all that. I did that. And all you do is turn around and walk off. We have to take initiative. If we see people hurting, we should take the initiative to talk to them about Jesus Christ. Okay, when they're hurting. If we can help them, we need to help them. Okay? We don't need to wait till God say, hey, Phil, go do this over here for him. Go help him out. I got this, Lord. I got this. Take initiative. If you need a chief or an officer to force you to work, you are neglecting the wisdom of the ant. You're being a sluggard. You're being a sluggard. You understand? A godly work ethic is born out of initiative, not compulsion. Not compulsion. Point number 2. The season of preparation. Yes, the harvest to winter. She gathers her food in the harvest. Proverbs verse 8. In a buzz life, the ants understood that their survival depends on collecting food during the summer to survive the winter. They know that. You don't have to tell them that. You don't have to write them a note. You ain't got to put it on the book of the Lord with a little poster clip. You ain't got to do all that. They know they want to eat. In the winter, they got to put food away. So they do that. Okay? Great. They know that laziness today means starvation tomorrow. Sluggard. Now I'll tell you what sluggard is. You'll probably hear it in a minute. Sluggard is a person that says, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. What's wrong with the day? You ran out of time? No, I think we just do it tomorrow. Got plenty of time, do it tomorrow. That's a sluggard. That's a sluggard. You can do something in 20 minutes, but the sluggard would say, we do it tomorrow. You ever heard that? You ever heard people say that? I bet you said it. Be in church, okay? I know I said it, okay? I'm pouring fingers back, okay? We shouldn't do that. If you got time in the day to take care of something, if you got time out of your time to go tell somebody about Christ, that's your job. Just like I told you before, when I told God I'm not going to talk to Johnny, and he talked to me during the morning as I was driving to work, I need you to go see Johnny. And no, I'm not. That was being a sluggard. That was being a sluggard. I ain't going. Johnny, he ain't no good. He won't never mean nothing. He just likes to show off his money. I'm not going to see him. I've been a sluggard. At the end of the day, I was kneeling right there by his chair at his house, getting him saved, leading him to Christ right there at the end of the day. Because Rachel told me, you need to do what God tells you to do. Don't be a sluggard. Don't be a sluggard. Okay? They don't waste the season. They don't waste the opportunity. They don't wait till it gets, in fact, they don't wait till it gets dark. They do it during the daylight. As soon as the daylight cracks, they start moving. Ants start moving during the daylight. They just start moving, man. Wisdom is understanding the timing. The timing's got to be right. Using the time in abundance to prepare for the time of need. Okay? That person needs help. That person needs to be talked to. If nothing else, just sit there and listen. Let them talk to you. 90% of the time, people can work their problems out if they have somebody to talk to. You know that? I found that out. I ain't had to read that out of the book. Sometimes people are so overwhelmed with life that all they are searching for is somebody to talk to. A lot of times, people are attracted to me and they'll come and want to talk to me. And I got this sign on my head that says, you can talk to me. It always blinks. Okay? Yeah. And I worked at the nursing home. I had some of my own workers coming in and ask me, can I talk to them for a few minutes about a problem at home? And I tell them, yeah, shut the door. And I just sit in my big boss chair, listening to them. And as we get through, I say, you okay now? Feel better? I said, let's pray about it. So we'll pray. And then they're going back to work. I took the time. The time was then. The time was now to get that person in better mind. I could have told him, no, come back tomorrow. Okay, I said tomorrow. It was, in that particular case, it was a pretty bad situation, but everything worked out, praise the Lord. But if I had neglected the opportunity at that time to be with that employee, to talk to that employee, let him talk to me. Now, me not saying much, just listening, he could have hurt himself. He could have hurt himself with somebody else. Timing is all necessary. You don't have to jump up in people's face and say, hey, talk to me, man, what kind of problem you got? You don't have to do that. Just turn your light on. Talk to me. Talk to me. Timing is all important. How long will you lie there, you sluggard? Okay. When will you rise from your sleep? Little sleep, little slumber, little folding of the hands to rest. Proverbs 6, 9, and 10. The movie Ants shows us that even a colony, a sluggard, like Zeke, one of the characters, in his depressed state, just like that young man I talked to at work, okay, can feel unmotivated. But the proverb isn't talking about healthy sleep. It is talking about the addiction of ease. Of ease. The just 5 more minutes. Give me 5 more minutes. I'm going to get up. 5 more minutes. That's a mentality. That's a mentality. Okay? It's all in your mind. It is a insidious, small increments of laziness that kills our potential. I don't have time today to talk to you. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Man, it could have hurt somebody, could have hurt himself. But it all worked out. I tried to talk after the discussion. I kept up with him. I talked to him a few times, but after that, everything worked out. Well, praise be to God. Praise be to God. Amen. If you lose that opportunity, it's because of your fault. It's your fault. What he's trying to say here today about the sluggard is, it's your fault, not mine, that you don't take the opportunity, the initiative, the time to do what you're supposed to do. That's share the gospel of Jesus Christ. If people don't get saved because you don't share the word, you don't take the time to share the word, that's your fault. Okay? It is. I wasn't there. You were there. You had the opportunity to talk to him. I think you still speak to one or two of your guys that you work with, don't you, Mr. Carl? What if? But you don't have that attitude. But what if you'd have been one of those people, those Christians they call themselves, that says, that man's going to go to hell if he don't get right. And you just leave it at that. You won't do that. You won't leave it at that. You'll sense and you'll see it. You'll take the opportunity not to beat him with the Bible, but just to talk to him. And every morning just have your light on. If he wants to come over and share a little bit of this today, you listen to him. That's what he wants. We got to be prepared. We cannot be a sluggard. We cannot say, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. Can't do that. Laziness doesn't start with a total abandonment of work. Absolutely not. It starts with a little slackness. It's the folding of the hands that does it. Okay? Are you wasting your potential? Are you? Think about it. That's a question. Do you have a little bit of a procrastination in you? Huh? Yep. Most of us do. Most of us do. Point 4, last point. We'll get out of here. It says, the poverty will come upon you like a robber and won't like an armed man, found in Proverbs 6:11. If you do not follow the ant's example of diligence, the Bible warns that ruin will not arrive slowly. It will pounce on you like a thief in the night. Unexpectedly, things will happen to you. They will. If we don't follow the ant example, diligence. So this morning I want us to think about things. I want you to think about being wise. Be wise like that little creature, man. He gets up in the morning, if he has a morning, he gets up in the morning, he may or may not drink coffee, I don't know, but he'll go to work. He won't lay back another 10 minutes in the bed. I'll catch y'all boys when I get to work. He don't do none of that. Gets up, goes to work, gets in line, doesn't have a boss, somebody with him with a switch. He just starts working. He gets in line, goes down wherever they got to go, and they get what they got to get, and they bring it back. If you ever seen, just remember this. If you ever seen ants in two trails walking next to one another? One's going this way, one's coming back this way. You ever seen that? I have. I just remembered it. I have. I don't know where this one was coming or where that one was going, but there was like a street. They were walking down this little trail. Ants were together as unity. And in our churches, we should unity. Never quarrel. You ever see an ant argue with one another? Nope. You ever see one say, I'm going to go take a coffee break, I'll catch y'all back at 12:30? Nope. Nobody tells them when to stop, when to start. They know what the purpose is. They know what they're supposed to do. They take the time. They're not lazy. And they can pick up and tote 100 times their weight. 100 times their weight. So sometimes people will come to you and they'll want to talk to you. Can I talk to you? Absolutely, because you know what? They may have, life may have got them down so bad, they're overloaded. They got 200 pounds on their shoulders because life has really hit them hard with things. And they want somebody to just talk to them. And if you're not available to talk to them, to help them, then you're not being a Christian. You're not being the person you're supposed to be. You're supposed to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. You're supposed to listen. That's what your job is. And you're supposed to be there. But I have never seen, now this ain't no joke, you probably done it yourself as a kid, I'm sure you probably have. There'll be a line of ants walking up a wall. You walk over and you're looking at them, they just walking right behind one another. You take your finger, you put your little bit of spit on it, and run it across that line. When they're walking up the wall, you run it across there, them ants will freak out. They'll freak out. They'll almost be having a baby. I mean, they just be like a car wreck. Okay? But, y'all tried it if you ain't done it before. I'm sure you tried it. They'll scatter out a little bit, but they won't go far. But not one of them goes backwards. Not one of them goes backwards. Not one of them said, I ain't going through this, and turn around and go the other way. They're motivated to go forward. We're supposed to be motivated to go forward. You know that? We are. We're not supposed to stop in a block, a roadway, a path block that life is thrown at us. We're not supposed to stop and just throw up our hands and forget it. We're supposed to go through it. We're supposed to go through it or around. But let me tell you else what else. If you do that on the wall with ants, they do scatter. They don't go backward, like I said. If you'll watch them, they will find a way around your spit. They will go different directions, and then finally you'll watch them. They'll meet back up on that same trail, and they'll keep going. But this time, when you draw the line on that wall, they'll go around it. They'll go around it. So what we're supposed to do in life, when life pulls us down, gets bad on us, gets hard on us, we're not supposed to stop, go the other way. We're supposed to find a way around it, or we're supposed to find a way through it with God's help. Always forward, never backward. That's biblical, ain't it? It is. God created a little creature that has all the lessons that we're supposed to have in his action. Okay? Brother Gerald, will you and Miss Marilyn come on? We're just going to sing one song or one hymn part of it, okay? Ants are smart. They smart. I'll tell you something else too right quick before you get started. You know what an ant will do? This ain't no joke. If an ant wants to get in your sugar bowl, you can seal it up all you want to, but he'll find a way in there. He'll find a way in there. He sure will. You put all the poles you want to right there in that crack. Keep them out of your house. They'll come over here and get in. You do that over there, they'll come over here to come in that way. They are bound and determined to get where they want to go. We're supposed to do the same thing. Christians, we're supposed to be bound to go one way. That's to heaven. And we're supposed to prevent others from going there by being a constructive partner in their development. Okay? What is your thing? Hey.